Very warm welcome back, everyone. I am Zabi, and you join us for what has become the most unpredictable and drama-filled season of the F1 Lads League. This weekend's race are brought to you by Grand Caravans, a proud family-owned business with a passion for caravanning. Visit grandcaravans.com.au for more information. What a story those championship standings tell. In the constructors' fight, Red Bull have solidified their lead on 167 points. Mercedes have held on to second with 129, but a disastrous weekend for McLaren sees them dropped on last place with 79 points, with Ferrari climbing up to third on 98, just ahead of the McLarens. The Drivers' Championship is where the real drama is. Mappa now leads with an incredible 95 points to his name, but after a chaotic weekend, the chasing pack has been decimated by penalties. Rhoda is second on 71 new EG, and Sahan are equal third on 63 points. Then Kalpa is fifth on 58. Then Shahan is on sixth with 55 points. Then is Sheehan seventh with 44 points to their name. And Aranga is plumb last on negative points. But the headline is absolutely brutal fallout from the last race weekend. Sahan and Ferrari's new trade Aranga were each hit with a massive 17-point championship point deduction for Aranga. This is the second weekend in a row he's lost that many points. Rhoda also received an 11-point deduction, even though the Shrew barely managed to keep it in his pants, but sus, these are some of the most serve penalties we have ever seen. The drivers' trades have certainly bought the fireworks. Ferrari's new star Mappa is extending his lead in the Drivers' Championship, while the other signing Aranga is giving New EG a run for his money on becoming the most penalized driver this season. Meanwhile, McLaren's gamble on the rookie Sheehan is being tested by his ongoing internet issues. It is an absolutely incredible setup for the second half of the season. Qualifying is moments away. You won't want to miss this absolutely amazing action between these set of drivers. Time and get over out on track and be ready for racing into qualifying, and laps by these drivers are going to be set up, and we'll move on to a 5-lap sprint race. But we're now just waiting up for drivers and cars to be out on track, and we are underway for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's going to be in Hungary. The sprint race it is, of course. We're going to have 5 laps of sprint racing. Then we're going to move up towards the feature race, which we, of course, have no idea what it is going to be. The track, just like most of the drivers. But we're just now waiting for cars to come out on track, and we will get underway in qualifying.
I'll just invalidate first, yeah?
Yeah. You guys figure out your invalidations in order.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, it's
You tell me when you've invalidated.
Drivers are getting ready up to setting up their cars the best way possible, the best car they can have going into the session. And already we do have cars out on track, and there's an AI in the session. That is an interesting thing, but we're seeing Laforet, the McLaren that we have, the only McLaren in the session, which is driven by a real human. But there we go, as we're seeing others moving around on the screen as well. Prodigy moving up to the top, and very wide goes Laforet, and that is going to be a problem for the McLaren driver, and he's invalidated his lap already. That means unless anybody else managed to invalidate before him, he's not going to be starting anywhere very further than in 7th place. Mappa, meanwhile, in second place at the moment, just behind New EG. The trade that happened between Ferrari and Red Bull, that was, as we've seen the Red Bull driver, and he's going to go wide as well. He's just going to narrowly avoid invalidating his lap, but He still stays in second place though, but getting overtaken by others. No, he's in fact stays in first place, but we are yet to find out, because sometimes it could be an interesting fact that you could see the drivers in first place at the moment. It's of course a one-shot qualifying, so every moment, every corner, and every turn there is a changing of position. Meanwhile, Big Daddy has retired from the session already, maybe crashed on this fast qualifying lap. New EG is going to go over the line and has put up a fastest time of them all, and is going to take pole for the sprint here in Hungary. That is going to be Mappa qualifying on that front row, still trying to maintain a good qualifying lap after a very good last weekend racing action. And that is your qualifying results, everybody. New ET on pole ahead of Mappa, who finds himself in second place, with Prodigy just outside the top two in P3 in that Mercedes. Then comes Shahan in that Red Bull in P4. Then the EA of Oscar Piastri, but then it is three drivers. Big Daddy retired, Laforet and Rhoda both disqualified. So that means they might have, or both of them might have invalidated their lap. And as I said, Laforet wasn't going to start any further than 8th if anybody else had gotten their lap invalidated, and it was Rhoda the first one to do it. So we're about to get started for the 5-lap sprint here at Hungary.
Remember to start recording.
Yeah, everyone get their onboards.
Just need to make sure I'm not directly in front of E on the first corner.
Are you starting from the back, or is he third last?
Yeah, his drivers readying up course for the sprint race at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Actually, just finishing up the Hungarian GP qualifying in real life as well. But these drivers are going to be now done with the qualifying session, but get started for the race. It's going to be 5 lights out, and we go racing here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's going to be New ET on pole with Mappa in P2, Prodigy on the back in P3. Meanwhile, Mappa's overtaken New ET already, and into turn 1 they're going to have news. He's going to be on the inside line. He's tapped up, and one of the Mercedes has tapped up New ET there, and Big Daddy's going to go around the outside as well. Aranga just making a good move around the outside into turn 1, and that is going to be the other Ferrari into the top 3 as well. Prodigy's going to lose out that position. Meanwhile, Shahan having to fight out the other Mercedes of Prodigy. In fact, they're still side by side at the back. We've seen these guys go. It's Mappa leading up into turn 1 already. They started in P2, and the lead is theirs at the start with the Big Daddy in P3. Then comes Prodigy, New EG in P2, Big Daddy P3, Prodigy P4. Shahan, Laforet, and then Rhoda is at the back in P8. Laforet maybe has managed to gain a position into P6. Meanwhile, New EG is going to be on the way and looking after making a move on Mappa very soon. He's not going to be leaving him at all. Mappa's having to defend very hard there. He's weaving around left and right to just defend his position and not lose out this race lead, because that is going to be very vital, especially here around Hungary. The drivers mostly call it's a Monaco without the walls, so not easy to overtake, and just that the RS straight that we are coming at, the main straight that we are coming at, this is pretty much the only overtaking opportunity, unless somebody's trying to be too aggressive or being an extra smart driver. I don't think there's going to be any overtakes around here, around any other part of the track apart from the RS main straight DRS into turn 1, and there is a yellow flag at the back at this point. Meanwhile, we're not seeing any of the drivers' positions, but we're just moving through out on track, getting it all together. We're yet to see that, so I'm sure we should be getting that very soon. And there we go, we have got it just now. It disappeared again, but we're just maybe the broadcaster just wants having to play out with those overlays a little bit. Well, we've got them back with Shahan currently in P5 out here just ahead of the 2 Mercedes, and the Mercedes sandwich is Shahan in between, and he's about to overtake and get ahead of Prodigy. But when is that going to be the case though? Because DRS, remember, doesn't get open until lap 3. Oh, there was going to be almost a chance for Shahan to get through on Prodigy, but that doesn't seem to be the case so far. Lap 2 out of 5 already. These guys, I mean, we haven't seen any of the wheel-to-wheel action. I'm sure when the DRS is enabled, There's going to be chances. There's going to be drivers going side by side. Meanwhile, Mappa's going to get another faster slap, and his mission of pulling away from New EG starts to begin. It pretty much has already begun, so the gap is now 8/10, just about gained a little bit. Did New EG? That was almost falling back over 1 second, and Mappa might have just went a little bit wide on the exit, and that is going to allow New EG to get closer. And Shahan now at the back might have just spun, either going side by side or made contact or losing it on his own. He's going to fall back to the final position out on the grid into P8. That is a big blow to the Red Bull team, the current Red constructor leaders. They need points. They need both their drivers inside the point. Meanwhile, one has just fallen out of it so far, with New EG still having to fight Mappa, but Mappa capitalizing on that mistake, just gaining all that time back again. The gap is over 1 second now with the other Red Bull of Shahan at the back. There is no one in between the two Mercedes drivers, and New Rhoda is gonna be within 1 second of Prodigy, and Prodigy now will be in much pressure from his teammate on that DRS straight. He's got laps to get through. He's got time, but not a lot of time to get through against his teammate in that Mercedes. Is Rhoda going to be able to do that, though? I don't think he's close enough to be making that move into turn one. Go for it on the inside, but no. And there is again a spin from the Red Bull. It might just be Shahan once again. It is Shahan. He's not having it at all after his turn one spin. He's lost it again, just maybe pushing out too much, or trying to get further closer to the car ahead. Lost it out once more. Focus loose, lost, and you're going to lose out a lot of positions. At the start, having a very good start from Mappa, has helped him manage this lead and get that race lead, and he's keeping it so far to himself ahead of New EG. And New EG maintaining the gap here and there within 1 second around, but as I said, not a lot of opportunities here around Hungary to overtake at all, unless it's that main DRS straight to start-finish straight. With that help of that DRS could be opportunities, or any driver ahead of you makes a huge mistake that's going to allow you to get through. Meanwhile, there's going to be a McLaren, and that is going to be Lafayette through on that Mercedes, but no, there's going to be side by side. Is it going to be the Mercedes? Is it going to be the McLaren? It is going to be the Mercedes, at least into the final corner. The never-ending right-hander here at Hungary, but that is going to allow Lafayette to be behind the Mercedes at the detection point and get that DRS with having his rear wing opening to get through. But Rhoda might have just got his rear wing opening as well, being within 1 second of his teammate so far. So everybody's now getting that DRS at this point, apart from Shahan, who's far back, and Prodigy, who's behind. Aranga at the moment maintaining P3. That is a bit of a silent killer in this race. We haven't heard saw any extra much of him, but he's on his own currently in P3, trying to get a double podium for Ferrari. But will that be the case, though, as they've now only got the final lap to go through? That 5 out of 5. The Mr. Lafayette in that McLaren, trying to get moving forward. He's trying to move forward to help his McLaren teammate get ahead of those two Mercedes drivers. But can he do it? Is his McLaren going to be enough to beat the duo of Mercedes? Rhoda's going to. Oh, that was close there. That gets a little close because Rhoda then tries to not only defend but try and get ahead of his teammate as well. But that is going to be Mappa, the man in that Ferrari, coming around the final corner and wins in Hungary. Come on! And New EG in P2 with Big Daddy in P3. What a finish for the Ferrari team. A double podium here in Hungary.
What up, Ferrari?
Thank you, New EG in P4 with Rhoda in P5, Lafayette in P6, with Shahan finishing plumb last in P8.
What a comeback, E. Well done.
Fuck, well done.
Well done, E. Well done, E. Good racing, bro.
Assist, man. It must be pretty strong. Yeah.
That was good pace, bro. That was good pace.
We've been coaching all week, man. All week.
Man, Mappa's teammates, man. Assist on, he says. Assist on, bro.
He forgot to turn his assist on last week, man. That's what happened.
Double podium, huh? Nice.
Yes. Yes. Come on.
Well done, E, man.
Well done,
Taking that
bro.
one away from you, man. Well done.
Save your replay, Laugh, and everyone else who's on PC.
What about Oscar?
Those are your podium
Oh.
celebration. There we see the happiness on the Ferrari drivers' faces as we have the results final from the sprint race. Mappa on top, ahead of New EG, who just finished second, and ahead of Big Daddy Aranga. Finally getting that podium for Ferrari and finishing up in P3. Then came Prodigy and Rhoda, those Mercedes in P4 and 5 at Lafayette, just ahead of Shahan, who finished last in P8. And we're just now moments away, and we wait to get started for the feature race, which we don't know yet where it's going to be, but I'm sure as long as these drivers are racing and there is a little bit more space to overtake than it was here around at Hungary, this is going to be a good action race, and all of you watching will certainly enjoy it. And we are ready to go for the feature race here at F1 Lands League. Of course, we had the amazing sprint race at Hungary, but I'm sure this is going to be absolutely amazing one as well here at Texas. And a race that is an actual circuit, but not a street circuit in the United States. But I'm sure these drivers are going to make it an amazing race. And as I said, as long as it's a track that has more space than Hungary to overtake, it's going to be an amazing one. And I'm sure this one around Texas has a lot of opportunities, a lot of overtaking zones that these drivers would enjoy. And we are just now waiting for everyone to come out on track and get started for the one-shot qualifying. Switching up, having to drive on two different tracks, it's an interesting fact as well. You know, some of them are not even knowing about how or what track they're going to be driving. So going into an unknown is a pretty interesting thing, as we are now seeing the AI of Oscar Piastri, but I'm sure these drivers are going to be very quick and faster than the AI, and Lafayette already in that McLaren. We have seen Lafayette already before as well, and he's done a pretty decent job in qualifying, and or even qualified at the front positions, but just not completely able to convert those into those race wins or race positions that he needs. At the moment he's at the top. Remember, he was at the top at Hungary as well before he invalidated his lap and could not go any further. He needs to be very careful about these track limits because in this one-shot qualifying you're going to either make it or break it. One mistake, a slight inch over the white lines, and that is all going to go against you. Meanwhile, Mappa, Rhoda, New EG, Prodigy, all in the top 5, trying to fight back for that fastest time out on track, but at the moment Lafayette keeps it to himself and seems to be going as strong as it gets, but Rhoda has gotten ahead of New EG, but again Mappa's going to jump on that front row. He's got the time, he's got on now, only got the final few corners into that final sector. Is it going to be New EG? Going to be Lafayette is invalidated. He's invalidated just around there. As I said, that either it was going to get over the line or invalidate his lap, which was going to push him back to the bottom, and that is exactly what has happened, and that's going to be golden for the Mercedes of Rhoda. He's going to be over the line and come to the line fastest of them all. Take pole position.
That's
here in
pole.
Texas, just ahead of Mappa once again. Mappa getting that Ferrari into P2 once more, not closer to that first place, closer to the first place, but not certainly in first place. Over 2 tenths quicker Rhoda there, and once again Lafayette falling back because of an invalidated lap, along with Big Daddy. After that podium in that sprint race, he has seemed to be falling back, but I'm sure he's got the race and a lot more laps than they had in the sprint. Here in the feature there are to fight back and get back to the top. New ET still getting inside that top 3 after a pole position in the sprint collie, with Prodigy in P4. Shahan trying to get back in that Red Bull in the action in P5.
Left that corner, bro. I was on board.
Yeah, fuck, I knew I took too much as soon as I did.
Yeah.
And we are getting started for the formation lap course here, and Texas drivers are just going to try warm their tires up, get their tires ready and get started, and we are getting started out on. So only two drivers on different sets of tires. Everybody else on those mediums. Then there is two that are very different. Either they're going to get a very good start or get screwed by the tires later on. I'm not going to say it. I don't know if the other drivers could see whether they what everybody's on. So there's two drivers that are not on the same tire, but it's interesting. It's Laforet who's on a different tire in P7 just ahead of Big Daddy in that Ferrari, and then there is Rhoda maybe trying to get a starting on that different tire, trying to do something different as compared to Mappa to maybe either help him or lose out that start. I think it's going to be interesting though. Shahan and Laforet has already retired or pretty much to get disqualified out of this formation lap that has sent them back to the grid. And having to start on cold tires, both of them, I think the medium tires might need some more temperature to really be good at the start, and they haven't got it, so that is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Laps of racing, certainly more laps than they had previously. A chance for Mappa to get back to the top. He's remember started that sprint in P2 and took that victory in Hungary. Can he do the similar? Can he do the same again? Can UEG overtake Mappa from behind? Obviously, do an overtake from behind, but just like NUEG was overtaken by Mappa at that race start, can NUEG do the same, or is it going to be the masterclass of Mappa once again and be at the top ahead of Rhoda? Rhoda's got a good chance. Rhoda has got a chance to move forward from that pole position, try and get a good start, try and get a better start than everybody around and keep his pole position, and not only ruin that pole position into this race. Meanwhile, Mappa has been disqualified from the formation lap. And we're getting started. We're not seeing the lights at the moment, so anytime we see these cars moving, it's going to be 5 laps racing. Meanwhile, Mappa's going to be side by side with Rhoda there into turn 1, and Mappa might have just done it, and he has done it. Going to turn 1, he's taking that lead, and Rhoda's going to go into the back. He's running to the back of Mappa, and he's now going to be in even big more pressure, even being on those medium tires. As compared to the Rhoda soft tires. He's just got a better start in the end, and has gotten ahead of Mappa, ahead of Rhoda there. The strategy is either going to be medium to soft or medium hard, depending on how much these guys stretch their tires and overuse them in terms of the start. Meanwhile, Mappa has gotten that race lead. Rhoda in P2 with NUEG still maintaining P3 at the moment, the position he started in, with Prodigy in P4, Shahan in P5. Big Daddy has moved up from last to 6th place, just ahead of Laforet and the AI of Oscar Piastri. Meanwhile, at the front there is a battle going on, and almost there could have been a chance in this braking zone, and look at that, there's more multiple DRS zones around here, and definitely that back DRS rate is one of the opportunities to overtake, and that was close between Rhoda and Mappa. Rhoda's going to go on the inside line, and he sends it there, but he's going to run wide. Is he going to allow Mappa to come down the outside? They're both going to be side by side. Mappa might try and stick it in there. He's going to go wide, and now that is going to allow NUEG to get closer. This is about to begin the three-way fight for the race win. We're yet to find that out though, but at the back, Laforet and Big Daddy are fighting, but the red flag fight for the race lead could well be on, because Rhoda's in that race lead ahead of Mappa after making that move on the inside line. NUEG in P3, but Prodigy in P4. Good one, and Shahan has had a spin. Now yellow flag was Shahan for Shahan. Spin. He's not really having the weekend at all. He had a spin at Hungary as well, ruining his race, and now seems to be the case here at Texas as well, the US Grand Prix. Especially these S sections could be tricky. I mean, they could be very tricky, but the yellow flag, oh, that was close from Prodigy there. That was close, and that's going to allow Laforet to get back into the top 4. And Big Daddy seems to have a crash, or something has happened. and safety car is out. Safety car is the case. Not quite sure what happened though, because the Ranger seems to be still in the race, so maybe it's contact between the two drivers. We'll only find that out if we see two drivers at any car that is wrecked and has lost out. Where? And there we go. That is your answer. There is no front wing on Big Daddy's car in that Ferrari. Not having this feature race that he would have wished for after a very good podium in that sprint. And he now needs to pit, and everybody, all of those starting on the soft compound tire would be heading into the pits as well. So the medium tire runners, as I said, depending on the race, situation, medium tire runners could either continue on and keep the track position, or pit for a set of hard compound tires and go to the end of this race, though. But I mean, we never know. Maybe Oranga trying to push too hard ended up losing their front wing, but they've got one more chance. Meanwhile, Mappa's going to be into the pit lane, and definitely a most sensible option would be the medium tire, or sorry, the hard tire, or we could see them going onto a set of medium instead of softs. They don't do that, but you could actually go to the end on the soft tires, because if you're going to see pitting on lap 3, maybe the safety car stays out till lap 4 or 5, so either a lap 5 or lap 6 restart. But then towards the end you would have no grip at all. So the best arms and the better option is a Mappa. Better option is hard tires, not Mappa, but it is Nuigi and Mappa, both of them having pitted and on a set of hard tires. And there we go, Big Daddy is on a set of soft compound tires, and definitely a chance to fight from the back, a chance to be quicker than everybody else around there is going to be there. So the bottom 3 in this race have all pitted, and everybody from Rhoda to Shahan has not yet pitted. Shahan actually had a spin as well, so surprised that he doesn't go for new tires. Maybe just feels that he doesn't feel the need to do so. So that's going to be pretty exciting, I'm sure. Going forward, drivers with some being on, pretty much most of them being on used of course they're not too used. I mean, they're 2 laps used tires, so they would pretty much be as brand new as well, but not as new as a brand new rubber that was on these drivers' cars in that pit lane. And definitely warming these hard tires could be a hassle. It could be a big task to make them work and forgive you the grip that you need. Rhoda enjoying his race lead that he took from Mappa on lap 2 while going on to the inside line there. So there's going to be a chance. He's right behind.
There's an issue.
I'll say that.
He's got an issue.
Oh no. Engine.
Oh no.
Nice.
There we go. The AI has retired. That is actually interesting. The only AI driver we had in the session has decided to retire then. That is more like she and disconnecting his Wi-Fi, I guess. And no more AI as well.
No. Oh no.
What the fuck?
No.
That is into the pit lane, and now those drivers, the top 3, most of them actually into the pit lane. Those who couldn't pit on the previous lap are deciding to come on now into the pit lane and go for a set of brand new tires, and that's going to allow Mappa, Nuigi, and Big Daddy in the other Ferrari to move forward and move to the top 3. All of them with that pitted and moved to ahead of everyone now. Track position on the previous lap turns into be. I mean, if they didn't pit earlier, they probably shouldn't have pitted on this lap as well. Maybe they couldn't pit. Maybe the safety car came later than they were past the pit entry. That could be a case as well. But there we go. I think lap 4 out of 14, so a lap 5 restart could be the case around here. So it's going to be interesting. Mappa leading that Grand Prix. I mean, he's got another nice start to a race as well. P2 in that sprint in qualifying, P1 in that race. Will that be the case though? Will that be the case here in the feature race? He's got the challenge of Nuigi once more, and there is a lot more overtaking opportunities and space out on the track than it was in Hungary. So it's going to be pretty much a challenge for him to defend. Meanwhile, Big Daddy right behind him, P3 as well. will try and make it a Ferrari double podium in 2 races in a row. Again, 2 drivers actually. Prodigy fitting that soft tires in as well towards the end. So different tire compounds. Lafort is on that medium. Big Daddy's on the soft along with Prodigy, and everybody else likes Shahan, Rhoda, and along with Mappa and Nui on that hard compound tire. The safety car is now going to be in the pit lane. The safety car is going to be in. And a chance for him to keep that race lead. Is he going to be able to get a better start or a better restart? That is always challenging. Can he get a better restart, a good restart that he needs to keep his race lead? Or Nuiji's is going to be very quick and fast enough to get an amazing start. He's at the moment going very slow, of course. The safety car has not yet made it to the pit lane. As soon as that makes it, the indication to begin racing and getting started for the Grand Prix gonna be the case for these guys. But Mappa now still weaving around that soft compound tire, trying to go. Has he went for it? No, he's not for it there. For a moment we thought that he might be going for that, and Nui and Rhoda side by side, and Mappa's went for it already. Has he caught napping, or has Nui been caught napping by Big Daddy there? Because that's going to be very close between the two, and Mappa's gotten away, almost pulled out 1.2 seconds even at that restart. That is an interesting fact, with Shahan and Prodigy at the back trying to fight out. Will these two guys, along with Rhoda and Lafayette as well, side by side into turn 1, is Lafayette going to be able to defend from Rhoda on those medium compound tires? I think medium actually is going to be the best tire at this point in this race, because it's going to give you the grip towards the end as well, unlike the soft tire, and it's going to be very fast right now, unlike the hard compound tire. The hard is not slow as well, but it's obviously out pretty much a few tenths slower than the saw a medium compound tire. Meanwhile, Prodigy on the attack to try and get ahead of Shahan, that Red Bull.
You got me.
A Red Bull that's been making mistakes, and now that is going to be at the back of that Red Bull is going to be Prodigy, and he's got a chance. He's proper chance here. No DI. Too long. That slipstream's going to help Prodigy to get through on the inside line. He's going to be able to make the move though. Down. Sideline sends it as Prodigy in that Mercedes, but he's going to run wide. That's going to allow Sean come back. Sean's going to be coming back around the outside and go through. They're still going to be side by side. Is that going to be the case? Because this is a interesting part of the track to defend and to overtake. You could be making that move. You could be going for a dive bomb on the inside, or even simple move on the inside, but you could end up outrunning yourself, or outbraking yourself, I shall say, to really give others the chance to overtake you. Meanwhile, the Mercedes of Rhoda and Nui is going to be in big pressure from the medium tire. Is going to be the best tire on the inside line into turn 1 before they could even get to that braking zone. Laforet's going to be through and into P2, and what a comeback from him so far. I mean, remember, he invalidated his lap again, and he's already into P2. Nui G now in P3 with a challenge of Big Daddy right behind on those soft compound tires, and I think these are the laps. These are the laps for Big Daddy to have a chance to really push out on those soft compound tires against the hard and really pull away as much as he can, as long as for the time that his soft tires have grip, which probably isn't going to be the case towards the very end, unless another safety car comes in and everybody decides to pit. But that's going to be a chance for Big Daddy then. He's got the ERS to get through. He's got the battery to attack, but Nui G has got a whole car to bring it in front of Big Daddy and defend his position. He's not quite going to do that, but Big Daddy is not quite going to make a big move to move up the order as well. Keeping and staying in P4 so far. A podium, and to make it another double podium. Could well be a case, and they're going to be side by side, and Big Daddy's in big pressure. He's really in big pressure there from Rhoda. Not quite sure, because Rhoda came out of nowhere for that Ferrari driver. He was rather trying to attack Nui G, but he's lost out to Nui, and now Rhoda is on the back of that Ferrari. This is pretty much going to be interesting now. Oh, they're going to be side by a little losing the rear from Big Daddy already on the edge of that final corner. Don't think Rhoda's going to be close enough to be making that move, but that was pretty close now, and I think the fight for the final place on that podium is going to be pretty interesting. And with the new EG at Red Bull, the ultimate gamble for Red Bull seems to be a fascinating one so far. I mean, we saw new EG in a title type for battle for the podium in China, whereas rival Rhoda was ultimately penalized for contact. Crucially, new EG kept his nose clean in that incident. Is this a sign that the championship leading environment at Red Bull is taming his aggressive style, or is it just a matter of time before the old habits return? Meanwhile, Big Daddy, the story of the race so far, he's fighting, he's almost gotten overtaken by that Mercedes already. He's having to defend from not only from one Mercedes, but the other is right behind us. Out to the other Mercedes as well, and that was close. That was Prodigy there, almost going into the back of Rhoda, and that could have been disaster, and almost going towards the double DNF for Mercedes, as he's almost getting into the back of his teammate, but just keeps it out of his teammate's rear end and saves his car along with his teammates as well. Meanwhile, Big Daddy, as I said, was getting penalties, and Rhoda's now got a penalty, and his fight for the podium might as well be in pressure, because now this is interesting. And what a drive from Laforet on that medium tire, as Mappa's in big pressure already on the inside line. Laforet's going to send it, but is it going to be enough for him to go through? No, that's pretty close, and now Rhoda and Big Daddy have got 3-second time penalty to get through. And this is now interesting, because Mercedes or Rhoda at the back of New EG to fight for that podium place again. For his new team, New EG, continuing his battle on. We're just ahead of and over that halfway distance of this race. Meanwhile, Laforet is at the back and right behind Mappa as well. Maybe a race lead change could be on the way, but is it going to be the case though? Racing action, and is fight battling, and on the inside line now sends it, does Laforet on the inside line. He doesn't quite outbreak himself as well, but Mappa's not going to leave it easy for him at all. He's going to give him a tough fight. He's really going to give him an interesting fight to get through, and Mappa's just going to be able to defend his first place. So far, this race lead could well be in big pressure from Mappa from the back behind Laforet's battle. I mean, Laforet in that McLaren trying to recover back after invalidating 2 qualifying laps in 2 sessions we've had, especially this one starting last. I think you got a big chance for him to move forward, and he's really quite doing that so far. Oh, one more chance. He's got to turn one, and this time around it seems to be a proper overtake chance than before, but still going to be side-by-side action. Mappa's not going to leave out at all. Going to the S section now. This is going to be pretty interesting, because Mappa's not going to let him leave, but he's just made the move so far. But again, that DRS opportunity for Mappa is going to be the one that he's going to take his position back. But so far, Laforet has taken the race lead and leads the US Grand Prix. Meanwhile, the other Ferrari at the back in P5 is definitely 6 laps on those soft tires. Now, those softs are going to be running out of grip even more and more throughout the remaining laps. Prodigy's on a similar amount of laps as well, 5 laps on the tires, so his laps would be falling back as well. Meanwhile, Mappa has taken that race lead back on the inside line similarly, but Laforet's going to come. Laforet's going to have a back chance once more. He's got no battery to use at all, so all he's got is the engine power that he needs to get through. Oh, he's almost going to get through. Penalty! He's got a 3-second time penalty, is in his chances of a race win might as well be slipping away now, because unless Mappa gets a 3-second time penalty, no way that Laforet's gonna be able to pull away 3 seconds. And you never know though, he could quite do it, but has he got the grip? Has he got enough laps? Even if he's got the And he's going to lose out that rear and spin around and almost going to lose out that second place as well. Definitely those soft medium tires might have been pushed too much. And now Rhoda's through. A chance for a dream win here in the United States slips away to even a podium. Not even a podium now. His 3-second time penalty is not going to allow it because New EG is within 1 second. Lafort has really fallen back then. I mean, what an incredible turn of events for Ferrari, though. They traded for the championship leader. Mappa is now running away with the driver's title, not only for the title, but for this race so far as well. But the other signing Aranga is proving to be a costly accusation. He's been hit with another 12 penalty points for racing incidents in Portugal and has now lost a staggering 34 championship points in just 2 weekends. Meanwhile, the other driver they traded away, Sheehan, continues to outperform Aranga despite reportedly still having no internet access and being in the process of moving a house. That doesn't seem to be the case to that Aranga's going to score is going to be better than Sheehan, as Sheehan doesn't seem to be in the session. McLaren's Wars and Sheehan's internet saga. I mean, a tough weekend for McLaren. Last time out, a 17-point deduction has seriously dented their championship hopes, and you have to feel for their new rookie Sheehan. The paddock rumor that he's moving house and has no internet is starting to look more like a fact. Is he racing this weekend tethered to a mobile hotspot balanced on a stack of moving boxes? A brutal start to his McLaren career. On top of that, missing out this weekend as well. He's really going to have to fight out for everything for next weekend. It's worth noticing the decision in the China incident involving Rhoda and New EG. The Rhoda was penalized, but his penalty was significantly reduced from 6 to 3 points because actually he immediately and intentionally gave the position back. The steward made it clear that this act of sportsmanship sets a precedent and for how penalties can be influenced by driver conduct. A big lesson for the rest of the grid. So interesting. I mean, maybe if you get a few points of penalties, just give that position back. If you make an incident, it's pretty much the half detection is interesting. So I don't think that's going to be the case every time, but maybe at least one time it was the case. Meanwhile, Lafort has fallen back. He's actually got back towards, he's actually, no, he hasn't got back, but at least he's pulling away. He's at least pulled away from New EG, but he's still got over 3 tenths to make and get ahead, and he's going to run wide. He needs to be very careful because he doesn't want one thing, and that is another 3-second time penalty, and might be on the way and only chance to get ahead of Rhoda. Because Rhoda's got a 3-second time penalty as well. Remember that. Rhoda's got a penalty as well, so that is going to be a proper chance for Lafort to have a chance. He might almost be able to get that second place, but he needs to be getting ahead of Rhoda out on track, because he needs to be ahead of Rhoda on track to move forward. And Big Daddy at the moment has fallen back again, and definitely those soft tires are now done and dusted, having done over 9 laps on them. Side by side, they're still going to be there, and no, for a moment we saw Lafort could have been through, but no, he's not going to be through it now. With that, Lafort's going to even get that rear wing opening as he might as well be through into second place now. His chances of a victory were faded away, but maybe not the chances of finishing in second place. On the inside line, going to be sending it through, but is Rhoda going to have enough? Is Rhoda going to be on the way to get back to the top, to get back in that second place? Both of them have a 3-second time penalty, I think. Oh, down the inside line, Rhoda's going to be through, and Rhoda's going to be back in the second place, but no, Lafort's on the outside, and a chance for him to get back into that second place is going to be on the way. They're still going to be side by side. Oh, that was right going Lafort there. I think both of them don't want one thing at the moment, and that is to fight each other and bring that gap below 3 seconds. And already it is coming below 3 seconds at this point, because if that happens, that well might be the case for New EG to have a chance and finish on that podium places. Because New EG is still 3.2 seconds behind these two guys, and down the inside line, Luffer is going to send it there. Rhoda might have not expected, and he spun around. He spun around, not quite sure whether there was there was contact between the two, or something quite happened for Lafayette to lose it on his own. That is pretty much done and dusted after an amazing fight for the win earlier on. He lost it, and then a fight for the second place. He was keeping it on track, but that keeps to be going worse and worse for him, from bad to worst this weekend, still in P2, P4, but the gap is not enough for him to get at that place, so the best he can get is P5 as long as he just finishes within ahead of 3 seconds ahead of Shahan. Then pretty much at this point, Mappa still leads the Grand Prix, has completely dominated this one until the moment. I mean, he pretty much dominated so far, but down the inside line now, Lafayette once again has got a chance to get through. I mean, he's going to recover even if he didn't have a penalty. I mean, that penalty, as long as he didn't have that, a fight for the podium would have still been on, because now he's not got enough laps at all. No more laps. No more than enough laps for him to get being through, or having a chance to finish in that third place. So finish outside the podium positions could be on. Prodigy in P5 getting a New EG's got a penalty, and New EG has just got a 3 second time penalty, and now that opens the door for Prodigy, who's 1.2 seconds behind, and as long as he's just within 3 seconds of lap for it, he might well be able to finish on that podium.
Come on, Copper.
I mean, he's got the chance to do it tonight, because now it's on the final lap and nobody has got enough laps or time to pull over 3 seconds on the cars behind. And position ahead of New EG could be interesting now. Because this is... Oh, that was close. That was a lot of moment from Prodigy there. Almost lost it. This is now interesting. I mean, he needs to be pushing around as well, pushing very hard to get within 3 seconds of all of these drivers, at least. They're up to Rhoda. I don't think they're going to be able to get through on Rhoda. Might be, though, because that then could be interesting. But no, I think 1.9 seconds, 2 seconds a gap to New EG. Might just get in P4, but might not be close enough. Then that's actually going to be a good news for Lafayette, then. The man who could have thought that he's not going to be able to finish on that podium ever again in this race to fight for it, but I think he might as well be on the way to be through. Meanwhile, one man is on his way, though, to take the checkered flag fast, and it's going to be Mappa to make it 2 wins in a row, and Mappa wins here at the United States Grand Prix in Texas. Rhoda comes up in P2 with Lafayette in P3, then comes New EG in P4, but is he going to be, he's going to be dropped back? Yes, he will be, with Prodigy in P4, then New EG in P5, just managed to keep it within the top 5, then comes Shahan in P6. At least on that same road, pretty much, these two Mercedes, the Red Bull drivers. Then it's Big Daddy in P7, and to round off this grid of the race here in Texas. This was some great battles out on track, some amazing actions, and penalty in the end made it hard for these drivers. And Mappa once more on the top step of that podium.
Well done, Mappa.
And taking that win here in the United States Grand Prix at Texas. It's got their victory and another win for Ferrari team, and definitely that is going to give a boost to Ferrari in that constructors title as well. Meanwhile, Lafayette finally getting on that podium. A good recovery for him as well in the end, from invalidating his laps to a podium of the race. Mappa ahead of everyone with Rhoda in P2 and that Mercedes despite that penalty with Laforet as well. He's got finished up with the fastest lap. That is interesting. An extra point to himself. The Prodigy in P4 just moving up one place on New EG, who finishes up in P5 just ahead of his teammate Shahan. Then comes Big Daddy in P7. That then rounds off the grid for this race here in Texas.
Great race, lads. Good fun.
Should we move quickly to press? Because I have a lot of questions.
Sure.
Zab, you want to kick it off?
All right. So Mappa, man, taking 2 victories in a row, but not only taking victories, but not having pole as well, not being the fastest in qualifying, but just doing enough in the races. Not even it's not about doing enough, but winning it by gaps of seconds, and just maybe that sprint race gap was not a lot, but this one must have felt absolutely amazing. I mean, almost domination after that incident and mistake from Laforet there. And up until then, I mean, there was a chance or a chance for him to catch back. But I think as long as he had that mistake, I think you might have been just more relaxed after that.
Yeah, for sure. I think I got to thank the team for giving such a great car, 2 great launches, even without getting pole position. Made sure I was leading the race by turn 1. I think the second one was a bit more touch and go with Laforet because he had the mediums and he just had more pace. But then, as always, he spun. So I knew he'd either spin or his tires would go off. So I had some confidence, but it looks like it was a pretty close fight behind me. But yeah.
It really is it was a very close fight. So I mean, Laforet, sure, he spun around here today, but he seemed to have very good and pretty strong pace. So how do you think, or how are you going to tackle him about in the future? Because he's got interesting pace. I mean, if he capitalizes on those mistakes, he could be a big challenge going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, thankfully he popped some championship point deductions last week. So he's a bit off the lead, but again, I could be down there as well if I'm involved in one more incident. But yeah, I mean, we always knew going into this season he would be, probably one of the favourites to win this thing, given he's got lines and prep time. So not surprised. Also not surprised that he spun. So we're all good.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, Mappa, once again, congratulations for 2 victories here in this weekend's event. Now we move on to other drivers for the press conference.
Yep, I can take over from here. So, Nui G, you're coming in second in the Hungarian Grand Prix. You must be disappointed having started pole.
Yeah, quite disappointed. But yeah, what can you do? Mappa's too good these days. Got to work harder. Team gave a good car, but wasn't able to, get a good result for them. But yeah, we'll move forward from here.
And talk us through opening Hungary. It looked like the 2 cars in front of you had time penalties. You just had to keep it on the track, and you didn't.
So you mean in US?
US, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I was on the hards, and they were 30% wear, and I was trying to take it very cautious, but yeah, made a mistake. Sorry for the team. I could have had a P2 or a P3, but yeah, because of that, dropped down a few positions. Maybe the early starts not my thing, but can't really make excuses.
Fair enough. And moving on to Rodder, what a podium in Texas. I mean, you got pole position. It's probably going to be pretty tough to keep Mappa behind you, but what a result. You would have thought Laf would have been favourite for that second place. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, we'll take the second place. I thought going into Texas, I think I had the that first. I think maybe the safety car came out was the first or second lap. I think I had the pace over Mappa actually. Bit of confusion with the safety car strategy. I think we pitted too late in the second lap. But that's all right. That's all right. I was able to redeem myself from 5th place, I think I was, and then got up to second. Couple of penalties, some good driving from everyone. Really, it was enjoyable. It was fun to be out there. Some good contests. But yeah, wrapped at second place. We'll take that. But yeah, promising as well. I think moving forward, I think we can take it up to the Ferrari, the number one Ferrari driver, and yeah, pretty confident going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, what an overtake on Mappa in Austin. You would have been pretty disappointed that the strategy let you down in that case.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, considering the events of the past, I guess, week, my intention was to, I guess, take the challenge up to Mappa. I mean, if we're going to cop penalties anyway, may as well go down fighting. So, yeah, really happy with that first couple of laps. We'll take second place, and yeah, keep working on it and go into next week. And yeah, feeling really confident at the moment.
Well, congratulations. It's an epic result for yourself and the team. Moving on
Thank
to
you.
Laf. What happened, mate? I mean, you're probably favourite to win that race at one point. Are you paid to spin, or like what's going on?
Yeah, not sure. It might need to work on my driving a bit more. Recently started playing a bit more CS, so the hours on F1 have definitely gone down. Yeah, so sorry to the team, focus up, and might start just trying to settle in for clean races rather than trying to be a bit more ambitious.
Yeah. So what happened at turn 1 with Rodder? Was there contact? Do you think you'll be going to the stewards? Or
No.
was that just-
Nah. Just old tires, sent it in too hot, and couldn't get out of it.
I mean, still a podium, so nothing to be disappointed by. And I think you've got 7 fastest laps this season, so you're, by no means not in contention, but maybe some
Got to
work.
clean up the racecraft.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you must be disappointed coming in 6th in Hungary. What happened?
Just started at the back, couldn't really make my way through.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, and then Culpa 4th in Texas and 4th in Hungary. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, it was not too bad, mate. Just trying to keep it consistent. Took the softs a bit too early in Texas, and definitely struggled towards the end there, trying to keep within that 3 seconds of Laf and Nui G. So on to the next week, anyways. Well done to Nui as well. Good race there at Texas, mate.
Did you mean to take the softs, or did your team strategy make another blunder?
No, mate. Took the softs, took the gamble. Gotta take the risk sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough. And Shahan, last but not least, in terms of drivers, disappointing, you'd say, upon reflection for the team and yourself this weekend?
100%. I think pace was okay in Hungary, and then just got overzealous and inexperience really showed trying to get ahead of Prodigy and spun out myself. So I've only got myself to blame and a couple of big weeks ahead. So sorry for the TPs and sorry for the team.
Maybe get the assist back, eh?
Finally, and Nuwan, as always, we have our Mercedes team principal without fail. Rise or shine. Last question for you. I mean, you must be pretty disappointed with the strategy letting your team down. As the team principal, you have to take responsibility for strategy. So, how do you feel about letting your team down?
Look, Jesus.
You haven't let us down, mate.
Look, I trust the drivers and what they do, and the results have shown. Start going with the P2, and you can always trust Nui G to do something wrong, and thanks for that. And that gives Culper a P4 as well. So, look, I trust everyone to have to screw up, and I trust our drivers to do well, and it shows.
Yeah, and one more question, Nuwan. I mean, in all seriousness, Mercedes is probably looking like favourites to catch Red Bull. Obviously, Red Bull has quite a significant lead. How are you rating your chances? Quite a lot more races to go. And again, I think you've probably outscored Red Bull this weekend. You must be quite confident.
Look, if Red Bull keeps doing what they're doing, I think we're absolutely fine.
Wow, big words. Big words. I take that to mean no one thinks Mercedes is favourites for the championship. No pressure.
That's correct.
No pressure,
That's
Rodder.
correct.
All right. Well, Zabi, thank you very much for your commentary. Thanks for all the drivers joining. And on to the next week.